Today, I come to you to discuss democracy and the basics of freedom in a democratic state like Canada. Freedom has come to people over a long, long struggle. It has lasted thousands and thousands of years. But at some point in our history, we as a people have overcame. We had created rights that were entrenched in things like a constitution that gave a nation sovereign powers and also gave the people their own powers. Our rights are our people's constitution. Our right to protest for right is the most powerful right we as a people have. For without protest, for without resistance, we can never achieve the goals we set for us as a people. What we are witnessing today here in Canada is a fallen nation. A nation must not only stand on its economy alone, but on the fabric of its moral justice. If a nation does not have justice for its people, if a nation does not have morals for its people, then what is it? It's a totalitarian state. It is a dictatorship. It is a system of law that is unacceptable to the vast majority of humanity. Here in Canada, we may have a democracy, but we do not have a government that respects it or follows the laws of it. We witnessed in Toronto the suppression of a revolution on the streets. I saw no difference in Toronto than in the streets of Iran, when they were beating up the youth, when they were charging the peaceful protesters, when they were arresting the hundreds and thousands. We today are witnessing a government that has lost control, a government that is hell-bent on destruction, that rather not deliver its people, except it rather fill its pockets with greed and hate. We are witnessing a government hijacked by big oil, a government bought by big oil, a government that has destroyed our economy, destroyed our environment, that has destroyed the fabric of our Constitution and everything it means to have a charter of rights and freedoms in our nation. What we saw in Toronto was the worst act against the people of Canada in the history of our nation. We have the right to protest. We have the right to stand up against injustice. For when the world is enslaved and the mass majority of people admit that we are enslaved, that the corporate machine has taken away what it means to be a human and has us working until years where no human in the history of humankind has ever worked. We are witnessing the worst of the worst today with complete social devastation. You know, the people are broken now. Maybe with your sticks and your batons, but they've been broken for years. Stephen Harper is not unlike Ahmadinejad. They all have this worldly perspective of how they can dominate international media while suppressing their people. They are holding on to power with using illegal tactics against their people. They are suppressing anyone who protests against them. They are destroying Canada and in the process killing the entire planet. Sad world we live in when people like Stephen Harper can get elected. It's a sad world when we as a people are not able to stand up together. When we mobilize and stand united, we are brought down, we are torn down, we are made bloody. Many of us have suffered, many of us have died in this struggle, but we will not stop. We will not stop until we see Stephen Harper, until we see this gang of criminal thugs, until we see all those that work with that illegal prime minister, with that prime minister that belongs in a detention facility called a jail for all eternity. But we don't have that in Canada. We are only allowed to send people to jail for 25 years for treason. We can't give them the death penalty because Canada has rights. So, Stephen Harper, be happy that Canada has rights because it's saving you your life. But on the other hand, it's not necessarily your life that you should be worried about. Maybe more about the afterworld. Where do you choose to go? Up or down? Because I'm pretty sure the way up is not going for you really well right now. Because I heard tons of people scream Jesus when they were being beaten by the police. I heard the scream of children in the streets of Toronto. I heard them pray. And they weren't praying there for you. They were praying for a way out. You had enclosed the youth. You had antagonized them to riot. And then they rioted. Then the next day, you just started allowing for the complete arrest of anyone. Didn't matter who you were. You were an innocent bystander. You were a news reporter. We were just going to arrest you with no warning, nothing. Stephen Harper, that's how you're going to be arrested. You're going to be arrested with no warning and with nothing. You're going to be put in jail for a very long time. You do not deserve to be Prime Minister. You do not deserve to be a citizen of our nation. If I could send someone out, throw them on an island and leave them there for a very long time, that's what I would probably do to you. But I can't. I do not have that power right now. For redemption can come quick, but not to those who seek to torture others, not to those who seek to abuse the majority of our nation. We, the people, own the streets, so until you understand that as a Prime Minister, you should not be Prime Minister of Canada. Until you decide to represent your nation and not a bunch of corporate filth, then you can decide to actually represent and be a Prime Minister. There's no reason why you shouldn't resign today. There's no reason why you're still holding on to power except your illegal methods, except your spying, except you working with foreign nations to try to subvert democracy here in Canada. What you are doing is you have let go to our sovereignty. You have placed it in the hands of criminals, thugs, absolute people who have no respect for government. The greatest anarchists on the planet are Republicans and conservatives. For they do not believe in government. They do not believe in the role of a government. They believe in business and only business. So we need to stop these anarchists who are destroying our government. We need to stop those criminals who are ruining the people and enslaving generation after generation. We must stop Stephen Harper and his gang of criminals in Ottawa, and we should put them all in jail and not let them out. Welcome back to the Love Revolution, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm pissed.